Sunny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud in a new lawsuit. He is one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeering, influenced, and corrupt organizations of the RICO cases ever filed in New York. But wait, Sunny might have accidentally ratted on her own husband live on air before
200
this.
defendants named in one of the largest RICO cases ever filed in New York, accused or getting kickbacks by performing surgery and fraudulently.
Only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance.
What?
And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud. I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence for him.
What happens when an on-air comment by a daytime TV celebrity becomes a legal nightmare? The View co-host Sunny Hostin was recently the subject of a media frenzy, but this time it was about her husband rather than her divisive opinions or fights. Yes, Sunny's husband is currently being accused by RICO following what many are calling an unintentional snitching incident that happened on live television. Is this controversy the most shocking The View has ever seen? Charges of fraud, courtroom drama, and an unexpected turn of events are all included. It all began with what appeared to be a normal episode of The View. Sunny, who is renowned for being truthful, made a comment that immediately got people to pay attention as she passionately discussed the difficulties faced by doctors in America's dysfunctional healthcare system. It is big businesses that hurt doctors. They are now threatening to swindle my husband of their money, despite the fact that he deals with people who lack insurance. Hold on, what did insurance fraud do? Viewers were shocked when Sunny revealed her husband's illegal actions live on TV. Videos of the incident went viral right away, and many began inquiring on social media if Sunny had snipped on her own husband. Prosecutors weren't convinced that it was just a simple linguistic blunder.
I would call this karma. I think a lot of people would. And it's not just about that. It's just about the way that she lives her life and how she projects herself on TV. I think ultimately, if you keep sending out negative energy towards people, you're only going to get that back in so many different ways.
Sunny's husband, famed orthopedic physician Dr. Emmanuel Hahn, is facing serious malpractice charges today. The lawsuit claims that he is a participant to one of the biggest racketeering cases in New York history. He is charged with filing false insurance claims, performing unnecessary operations, and providing fraudulent medical services while claiming to be treating uninsured patients. Dr. Etienne allegedly engaged in a systematic plot to cheat insurance companies of millions of dollars in claims against American Transit. They claimed that because of New York's no-fault insurance regulations, this type of scam is common there, which is where things become really complicated. Sunny's live TV comment is one of the main pieces of evidence being taken into account.
Wait, hold on. Let Sunny get in here.
I agree with mostly everything that's been said. We know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do. So there are a lot of problems with it. But the notion that we are in a violent country, this country was built on violence. We're a very violent country, and it's just undeniable that that's the case. And so I'm not, unfortunately, surprised that people are celebrating the use of violence. I'm not surprised that this young man thought that change could be accomplished through violence. 1 in 4 Americans say violence against government sometimes is justified. And today, in 2024, 1 in 10 Americans say violence is justified right now against corporations and government.
That's very scary.
Her statement supports their allegation that her spouse deliberately took actions to circumvent insurance plans. Taking it into consideration, she explained how he provided uninsured medical care before suing insurance companies to collect money. Legal professionals warn that although this can seem noble at first, if the claims are made fraudulently or under false pretenses, it might quickly turn into fraud. Is it possible that Sunny's attempt to defend her spouse actually made matters worse?
Her husband is literally doing fraud. And maybe, just maybe, when she said it live on television, that they decided that they're going to do an investigation into her husband because they like, he doing what? He's taking people, listen to this, people that don't have the coverage. He's accepting the surgery and later suing the insurance company. Now, here's the problem with that. If the person does not qualify for a particular surgery because the stipulation in their insurance dictate that they don't qualify for this, whether they don't qualify legitimately or not, and then you go and retroactively sue a company because you got to make a frivolous claim, right? The insurance company already said they're going to deny it. You make up some lie and then sue them and make money off of it. That seems like fraud to me.
Sunny, who frequently uses her platform on The View to criticize politicians and celebrities for their legal issues, has come under heavy fire as a result of this situation. Do you recall her frequent snarky comments regarding Donald Trump's legal actions?
Something that I'm still struggling with, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on, is how did a convicted felon resonate more with Americans than a hyper-qualified woman of color? I mean, I just didn't like the optics of a convicted felon sitting in the White House near a fireplace. Now is Whoopi said that we have a convicted felon in the White House. Those questions should not be asked of anyone, anytime, anywhere.
Are you saying people who are felons can't vote? Well, why are you letting them run the country? Why is
If he gets convicted, every single convicted felon in this country should be able to vote.
Well,
You think there should also be some soul searching on the Republican side who need to analyze why they would nominate a convicted felon who ran on lies, threats of retribution, and concepts of a plan.
A tweeter said, Sunny loves talking about everyone else's skeletons, but now that her husband's being dragged into court, she's suddenly silent. It's funny how it works, and even her co-hosts were uncomfortable keeping quiet about it in recent episodes. Viewers are now criticizing her for what they perceive to be her blatant hypocrisy. Dr. Host's attorneys outlined the case and vehemently defended the claims in a statement. Quote, a doctor who has spent decades building his reputation might face up to 20 years in prison under Puerto Rican law, so the stakes are very high if Dr. Tin is found guilty. Last-ditch attempts are being made by struggling insurance companies to place blame. Dr. Tin has dedicated his career to helping patients, often taking on instances that others would not, according to a statement from his lawyer. It is notable that despite the serious repercussions, Sunny has not spoken up since the lawsuit received national exposure. No dramatic speeches or fervent defenses, nothing but radio silence. Is she opting to wait until the legal proceedings are over, or is she aware that her live TV comment may have caused more harm than good? Do you think Sunny is receiving a fair response, or do you think people are being too harsh? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Did Sunny unintentionally reveal her husband during her live TV statement, or is there a significant misunderstanding?